And we are live streaming on both platforms right now. Talking about the impeachment stuff today. I'm going to be playing various bits of audio for everybody. I did put on Facebook that I hope the Democrats have stock in flex tape because all of the holes in their boat, the USS impeachment is sinking pretty darn quickly. So now you've got this situation with Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, who's had a lot of problems. We've already told you a bunch of stuff about Vindman, okay? So you've got Vindman, who was with the National Security Council. Remember, there's that fake news about him being removed from the National Security Council. He was not being removed by President Trump as punishment or anything like that. But the question of President Trump releasing the transcripts, okay, which threw a wrench in this entire thing. What Democrats have been trying to do is say, well, he really didn't release the transcripts. That's a summary of the phone call, but it's the official summary of the phone call. Now, why did he move some of the other documents to the secured server? Well, if you've been following the president's tenure, every one of his phone calls with foreign leaders keeps getting leaked to the public. You've got calls to various foreign leaders, Australia and other nations and things like that. They keep getting leaked to the public, and then the president has to deal with that. That's a national security issue. Those are classified phone calls. Any phone call between the president and a foreign leader are classified, okay? They are not supposed to be released to the public. They are automatically at the origin of their creation classified. And people have been leaking them to the media. Now, we have some ideas about who some of those people are, including Charamella being one of them. Vindman is the other one. A lot of people believe that Vindman is one of the big phone call leakers because he is on these phone calls. So what the president did is he put these phone calls now on a secure server so a smaller group of people would have access to them, which, by the way, included Vindman. Okay, so he still had access to them as well. This is not unprecedented. This is not anything that is brand new, but Democrats have tried to make the case to the uninformed that this is somehow hiding something. So this is Vindman answering a question about that and saying it's not unprecedented. This happens all the time. Cue my audio, please.
Did you ultimately learn where the call record was put?
I understood that it was being segregated into a separate system, separate secure system.
Why would it be put on a separate secure system?
This is definitely not unprecedented, but at times, if you want to limit access to a smaller group of folks, you put it on the secure system to ensure that a smaller group of people with access to the secure system have it.
Duh. And again, people kept leaking phone calls that he had with world leaders. So what he started doing is he started taking those phone calls and he started putting them on the secure system where you're less likely to have leaks, which is also called a very prudent national security move. Okay. So now here's Jim Jordan. So Vindman admitted in the opening statement that he prepared, in which he claimed to be the principal advisor to the president of Ukraine, which is not true. So now Vindman has lied, okay? He was forced to admit earlier today that he has never spoken to the president, not even one time. But Jim Jordan continues just nuking all sorts of stuff, which involves Adam Schiff. I want you to listen to this testimony now.
Das Kent and one other person.
And you're not willing to tell us who that other individual is?
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. The gentleman suspend. Counsel.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask you to enforce the rule with regard to the disclosure with regard to the intelligence office.
Thank you, counsel. You know, as I indicated before, this committee will not be used to out the whistleblower. That same
Mr. Chairman,
necessity
can you first stop the time so I don't lose the time?
Will persist. You are recognized again, Mr. Jordan.
Okay, before I continue with this, let me explain to you what's happening. Vindman is on the phone call with the president in the Ukraine. He gets off of that. He immediately runs and talks to another individual. They are discussing that at the beginning of this clip. And so Representative Jordan said, and you're not willing to tell us who that other individual was. And so at this point, Vindman's lawyer steps in and says, we're not going to out the whistleblower. And then Adam Schiff says, we're not going to out the whistleblower. And now is where Jim Jordan catches them in their deception. Have a listen.
Mr. Chairman, I don't see how this is outing the whistleblower. The witness has testified in his deposition that he doesn't know who the whistleblower is. You have said, even though no one believes you, you have said you don't know who the whistleblower is. So how is this outing the whistleblower to find out who this individual is?
Jordan, this is your time for questioning. You can use it any way you like, but your question should be addressed to the witness. And your question should not be addressed to trying to out the whistleblower.
Well, okay. Colonel Vindman, there's another thing Mr. Morrison told us in his deposition. He said he was not concerned about the call itself. He said there was nothing illegal or improper on the call, but he was concerned about the call leaking, the contents of the call leaking. He said this. He was concerned how it would play out in Washington's polarized environment, how the contents would be used in Washington's political process. Mr. Morrison was right.
Excuse me, Mr. Jordan, could I get a page?
Page 44. Mr. Morrison was right. The call leaks. The whistleblower goes to Chairman Schiff, staff. Then he runs off to the lawyer, the same lawyer who said in January of 2017 the coup has started against President Trump. The one thing the Democrats they didn't count on was the president releasing the call transcript and letting us all see what he said. They didn't count on that. Transcript shows no linkage. The two individuals on the call have both said no pressure, no pushing, no linkage, but security assistance dollars to an investigation. Ms. Williams? After the call on the 25th, we know that Colonel Vindman talked to several people. After the call on the 25th, how many people did you talk to about the call?
I did not speak to anybody about the call.
Didn't speak to anybody?
No.
I yield back.
Okay, now, here's the thing. We know that Vindman spoke with somebody. Okay, we know that. That isn't in dispute. Vindman has basically admitted that. So all Representative Jordan was saying is, are you willing to tell us who that individual is? And then immediately his lawyer and Adam Schiff go, stop trying to out the whistleblower. Well, are you guys saying that that's the whistleblower? Because you say you don't know who the whistleblower is. Vindman says he doesn't know who the whistleblower is. So how is telling me that the individual that he spoke to after that phone call, that he can't tell me who that is? How can you say that that's outing the whistleblower if he doesn't know that that's the whistleblower and you don't know that that's the whistleblower? How can we assume that he was speaking to the whistleblower at that time? Pretty good question, don't you think? Representative Zeldin on Twitter. If Adam Schiff and Lieutenant Colonel Vindman don't know who the whistleblower is, how could they know that naming the one person that Lieutenant Colonel Vindman spoke to in the intelligence community would out the whistleblower? Exactly. Which means they must know that that is the whistleblower. So they get caught in their deception. He keeps laying traps. I mean, Representative Jordan, he keeps laying traps for them, and they keep falling for it every single time. Also today, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman admitted to lying and fabricating an official report. We'll get to that next on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.